and Green Technology, ICASDIGT 2024, to be held from 19th to 21st of February 2024, organized by Faculty of Engineering and Directorate of Innovation, Startup and Acceleration, Assam Downtown University, in collaboration with Guwahati University, Assam Engineering College, and NELIT Guwahati. I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome our respected Vice Chancellor, Professor N.C. Talukdar Sir, Pro VC Professor Pranveer Singh Sir, Chief Guest Dr. Bhupendra Nath Goswami, Physiatry Chair Professor at the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. Guest of Honor, Mr. Ranjan Goswami, Chief General Manager, Public Relations, Oil India Limited. Dr. Mukulesh Borwa, Member Secretary, SLET Commission, Government of Assam. Convener of the conference and Dean of Engineering, Professor TVV Allen Rao Sir. Chairman of the conference and Director Research and Innovation, Professor Sunandan Borwa Sir, all the dignitaries, deans, faculties, staffs, students, and our participants, distinguished guests, esteemed delegates, and passionate advocates for sustainability. I feel proud today to take great pleasure and anticipation that we convene today to explore the pivotal intersection of sustainability, innovation, and green technology in an era marked by environmental challenges and the urgent need for transformative action. This conference stands as a beacon of hope and progress. Together, we represent a global community committed to driving positive change and shaping a more sustainable future for generations to come. Over the next few days, we'll dig into groundbreaking research, share innovative practices, and engage in meaningful discussions aimed at catalyzing real-world impact, from renewable energy solutions to circular economy initiatives, from eco-friendly technologies to policy frameworks promoting sustainability. Our agenda is rich and diverse. Distinguished dignitaries and honored guests, as we gather for this auspicious occasion, I humbly request your presence for the traditional lighting of the lamp ceremony. This ritual holds profound significance, symbolizing the dispelling of darkness and the ushering in of knowledge and enlightenment. By participating in this timeless tradition, we honor our shared commitment to wisdom, unity, and progress. Together, let us illuminate the path of a brighter future, guided by the timeless value of enlightenment and understanding. Your participation in this ceremony will infuse our endeavors with grace and purpose. Now, I'd like to request our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, Sir, Chief Guest Dr. Bhupendra Nath Goswami, Sir, Guest of Honor, Mr. Ranjan Goswami, Sir, our Dean of Engineering, Professor Rao, Sir, Sunandan Borwa, Sir, to please come up to the lamp lighting ceremony. Additionally, I would like to request our Faculty of Engineering, Mrs. Irene Borwa, to sing the Guru Vandana along with the lighting ceremony. Thank you.
Varde, Varde, Veena Vadini, Varde, Priya Swatantra Rava, Amarita Mantra Nava, Bharat mein bhar de, Veena Vadini, Varde, कात अंध उड़के बंधन स्तर महाजननी ज्योतिर्मय निर्झर कलश भेद तब हर प्रकाश भर जगमग जग कर दे जगमग जग कर दे वर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे नवगति नवलय ताल चंद्र नव नवल कंठ नव जलद मंत्र नव 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 की नव बृहग बिंद को नव पर नव स्तर दे नव पर नव स्तर दे वर दे वीणा वादिनी वरदे वरदे वीणा वादिनी वरदे वरदे वरदे.
Thank you, Irene ma'am. Also, I would like to thank our dignitaries. Next, we move on to our pride, our AdtU anthem. The university anthem holds immense importance as a symbol of identity, pride, and unity within the academic community. So, without much delay, I would like to request the dignitaries and the participants to stand up while our glorious anthem of Assam Downtown University is being played in the background. Thank you.
What a spiritual and a grand beginning to this international conference. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to honor our esteemed VIP and chief guest of the conference, Dr. Bhupendranath Goswami, sir, by felicitating with a shilling and a token of appreciation. Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, again, to honor our esteemed VIP and guest of honor, Mr. Ranjan Goswami, sir, by felicitating with a shilling and a token of appreciation.
Thank you, sir. Now, moving forward, our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. N.C. Talukdar, sir, your presence dignifies this occasion. Your words would inspire all. I take this opportunity and would like to request you to kindly come up to the dais and grace us with a welcome. Thank you.
Namaskar and very good morning. Respected Dr. B.N. Goswami, the chief guest of this function, Mr. Ranjan Goswami, guest of honor of this function, distinguished scientist, Dr. Karel Stratsk, Professor Mukules Borua, and all other eminent scientists, academicians, young scientists, research scholars, and respected media person, my colleagues, and dear students. It is indeed a great honor to have you all this morning in this important conference in Assam Downtown University campus. On behalf of Assam Downtown University, I extend a warm welcome to each one of you. Assam Downtown University is a very young university. We started our journey way back in 2010, and currently we offer 81 programs across 9 faculties to more than 8,000 students. If you look at our growth trajectory, we started with only 600 students in 2010. And as I said, today we have a student population of 8,000. And this growth trajectory of the university is in the line of the progress in higher education sector in the country. If you look at India's higher education scenario, in 1991, we had gross enrollment ratio of students of age group 18 to 23, only 9%. Out of every 100 students, only 9% students could afford higher education. But situation had changed now. As on 2023, the gross enrollment ratio has soared to 27%. So this is a remarkable achievement. And the private sector universities like AdtU has been playing a very pivotal role in meeting the aspiration of our dynamic youth population. From the beginning, the main emphasis of this university has been students' placement. As you know, this private university or private sector university education has not yet matched the government institution education. So we do not get it for fact. we do not get the best students, we do not get the best faculty for that matter. But to bring these students, to provide them education and make fit for taking job in different sector, and this university has been quite successful. So after having crossed 10 years of more than 10 years of our existence, last 3 years we have paid a lot of emphasis on fostering an environment of research for inducing a strong research environment and motivating faculty and the graduate level, postgraduate level students to engage in research. Today in this university, we have about 350 research scholars enrolled for their PhD degree. So that is where we actually making progress as far as research is concerned. Last year we had about 6 crores rupees projects from different government funding agency, and the government funding agencies' outlook has also been changing. Holding this conference itself, like to get financial support from government of India was difficult in the past, but this we have got beautiful support from several government of India funding agency to hold this important conference. And the theme of this particular conference, or this kind of conference in fact, helps us, or kind of a support to our research, or towards strengthening our research environment. And the topic which we are dealing with, the sustainable development, is very dear to all. We talk, like perhaps you all remember 1950s and 60s, when the world faced a impending famine for the increasing population, and the green revolution came to our rescue. You all know about it. The high-yielding variety, short drought variety, chemical input intensive agriculture, fertilizer, pesticides. So it actually prevented the world from an impending famine. But within less than 3 decades of the Green Revolution, what we started talking is sustainability of our environment. The use of pesticide, fertilizers, all the artificial means of production has deteriorated the quality of our resource base. Now it has threatened that this very resource on which we sustain, its productive quality its productivity has gone down. So this is why we know UNDP, the Charter 17 goals, Sustainable Development Goals. Why we have been talking about it? The other development in the field of science and technology, the world has been a global village today. What we do in one place has effect in other place. So this has to be a collective effort to make our future, to the future of our generation. We old generation will go, but the future generation has to sustain. So this kind of effort, a conference in a university in remote area of the country can also contribute to the global effort. What I personally believe, that making our young generation aware that this current challenge that the entire world face, that is sustainable development, and as we have said, the humanity's great strength is to overcome problems. Like we can overcome the problem of impending famine. This problem of sustainability also will come from science, technology, and innovation. But we must remember, alongside the science and technology innovation, what is also more important, our ethical values and moral values. I just want to refer what Mahatma Gandhi said once. That Mother Earth provides enough for every man's need, but not for every man's greed. A very disturbing statistics of UNDP, many of you may know, that in India alone, in a year, one individual wastes 50 kilos of food. And it amounts to 89,000 crores rupees in a single year. And that is 1% of GDP of this country. And in science and technology, government of India, how much they support of GDP? Only 0.7%. So we waste 1% GDP worth. And see, if that can be added to science, technology, and innovation, where the science technology scenario of this country will be. I think this conference, like the research main team, what my request is to young generation, that we have to keep a strong sentiment towards these issues which are not science and technology. When I eat food, there should not be anything wastage. Science and technology has nothing to do. It's the ethical stand, the moral stand, the thought for the humanity. Like there are millions of billions of hungry people around the world. So I am sure this particular conference, besides like it is going to bring or contribute towards global effort, maybe in a small way, towards the sustainable development efforts. Holding a conference of this scale takes quite a bit of effort. Our engineering and DISA, the Director of Innovation Startup and Accelerator, and Department of Engineering and Technology, they have been last 1 year putting a lot of efforts to bring this conference to this level, starting with the collection of fund, which is a major, and we have been successful. I thank them all. And as I said, that it's a conference of this scale, like there is always a scope of omission and commission. I hope you'll forgive us for that, and wish you all the best and effective deliberation of this conference. With these words, I once more welcome each one of you to this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the words of kindness and the words of grace. I feel myself as a student of engineering itself being very honored to be present in this conference today, and I feel the guests and the audience as well are very honored being a part of this international conference today. Moving on, dear conveyor, your expertise and leadership are invaluable. Please share insights on the conference significance and objectives. Your words will guide us. I would like to take this opportunity and would like to invite our respected Dean of Engineering, Professor TVV Ellen Rao, sir, to please kindly come up to the dais and enlighten us with your kind words. Thank you so much, sir. The dais is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, dear MCs. Thank you, ma'am, MC ma'am. And in fact, it's wonderful to see the team of your MC team consisting of faculty members and students and our colleagues. It has been wonderful over here in the morning, and you have been taking us through the proceedings of this ICASD IJT 2024 in a very, very pleasant and, of course, wonderful way. Thank you so much once again, and thank you, Honorable VC sir, for sharing us your words of wisdom, words of encouragement, blessings, motivation, and everything to us. And it is indeed, we are having great pride in hosting this ICASD IJT 2024 over here. Honorable Chief Patron, Dr. Anand Datta, Chancellor AdtU, Honorable Patron, Professor N.C. Talukdar, Vice Chancellor, Professor Bandana Datta, Ma'am, Dean of Studies, Mr. Jyotishman Datta, Management Trustee, Mrs. Goriasi Datta, Resident Trustee, Professor Pranveer Singh, Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Dharmeshwar Das, Chairman Research, respected Chief Guest, Dr. Bhupendranath Goswami, Sir, Specialty Chair Professor at the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, respected guest of honor, Mr. Ranjan Goswami, Sir, Chief General Manager, Public Relations, Oil India Limited, respected Chairperson, Professor Dr. Sunandan Barua, Director, Innovation, Startup and Acceleration, respected Co-Chairperson, Professor Chandrapur Sharma, Professor and Head, Department of ECE, Guwahati University, Dr. Navajit Saikia, Associate Professor, Assam Engineering College, Dr. Y. Jayant Singh, Executive Director, NILIT, Guwahati, respected leadership, management, administration, respected deans, associate deans, the entire fraternity of the Assam Downtown University, Guwahati University, Assam Engineering College, NILIT, Guwahati, respected sponsors, thank you so much, sir, for your, again, for your blessings and guidance in this regard. I am pleased to announce again that today we have received to the tune of 60,000 from Power Grid Corporation. Also, I would like to thank all my colleagues for the great efforts in this regard. We have received the kind sponsorship from Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Numaligarh Refinery Limited, Oil India Limited, Power Grid Corporation of India, Science and Engineering Research Board, and Godrej, total to the tune nearly around 8 lakhs for the ICASD IGT 2024, International Conference on Advances in Sustainable Development, Innovation and Green Technology 2024. Respected eminent plenary and keynote speakers, respected the publisher of the conference proceedings, editors-in-chief of the reputed journals, respected panelists for brainstorming session, respected advisory committee, technical committee, organizing secretaries, colleagues, and our most valued participants from India and abroad. We have actually this hybrid conference, so we have many of the friends and colleagues participating online as well as physically in this conference. And my dear supporters, volunteers, and very, very dear students, a very good day, good morning to all of you. On behalf of my entire team of ICASD 2024, and on my own behalf, it's my privilege to extend a hearty welcome to this conference. Well, I should say one thing here, without my team, I would not be able to stand here today in front of you. So I think the entire credit goes to the people over here, the entire team, internal team from the Assam Downtown University and the consortium of the universities that are participating in the ICASD IGT 2024, as well as the invited eminent plenary keynote speakers, participants from India and abroad in the papers. Through papers, we have papers for the presentations as well as for the posters as well. So I think I would like to second with our Honorable VC Sir's viewpoint that I think all of you has made this conference a wonderful event, a memorable event, and it is a moment of great pride to host this conference to all of you. Well, in fact, I would like to take a point over here, as our sir has already highlighted, about the evolution of the need of the science and technology for a university like us, the development that are taking place across pan-India or even abroad, and the demand for the sustainable future. So I think, I'm sure that this particular conference will make a little effort and a little attempt to meet the challenging requirements of the policymakers, of the academic experts, industry professionals, and the stakeholders from India and abroad. I'm sure that this conference, I'm really happy and proud to announce you that we have a great lineup of events in the program schedule, starting from the great plenary talks from the academia experts, as well as the keynote as well. We have the academic experts. We have the industry professionals participating here in this event. We have a brainstorming session in the evening, again participated by the leadership of the industry and the university, as well as the ministers of the government, so which includes the policy making bodies also. So obviously the outcome of the brainstorming session as well as the outcome of this conference, we are actually looking into the way whereby it can actually aid to the policymakers. It can also enhance the ideas and knowledge towards making this world a more sustainable one for the future. Also, it will, as sir has already highlighted, there's a great demand for our youth, for our young students to in fact imbibe the demands of the nation as well as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, as the sir has already highlighted. So I think there is a great need, great demand for all of us to work in this direction. I'm so happy that this particular conference of ICASD IGT, International Conference on Advances in Sustainable Development, Innovation and Green Technology, has definitely, with the theme of sustainable futures, has made a key effort, has made a good effort in terms of including all these points which are actually essential to us, which are in great demand for us, and which we need to embrace without any further delay in order to stand in the competition across our peers. So I'm so happy that this conference lineup, including the evening cultural program we have for all of you to have a good time and the memories, good fond memories of your stay over here in the Assam Downtown University in the Guwahati, as well as we had a great lineup of speakers online as well. So I'm sure that dedicating your, of course, very precious time, but I request all of you to dedicate your time to listen to the eminent scholars, industry professionals for these 2 days, And I'm sure that the takeaway from the conference would definitely be an eventful and fulfilling one for all of us. I'm sure that for the young participants who are actually participating in this conference, either physically or online, the ideas with which they have presented, definitely there is a wonderful effort, and I'm sure that your effort will be further magnified by listening to our experts in the academia and industry, and hopefully the ideas and innovation techniques and the knowledge that probably you gain, not only to the participant, I would also like to welcome all my dear students into this conference, attendees, and probably that when you gain the ideas, that it will enhance your viewpoint of how to further and fuel your research towards a sustainable development, innovation, and green technology. And I'm sure you will all be benefited by being part of this, onboarding us on this ICASD IGT 2024. Well, I would like to just highlight about the conference. We have total 11 plenary speakers, 5 of them will be presenting physically, 6 of them will be presenting online. Dr. Carol Sturks from Bangkok University, Professor Nitin Kumar Tripathi, Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand, Dr. Manas Das, IIT Guwahati, Professor M.V. Reddy, NMG, Quebec, Montreal, Canada, Dr. Deep Mehdi, National Science Foundation, USA, Professor Patrick J. Massett, Institute of Technology, Poland, Dr. Dmitry Kaplan, St. Petersburg Electrotechnical University, Russia, Sri Pankaj Kumar Goswami, Oil India Limited, Professor Shawanta M. Hazarika, IIT Guwahati, Dr. Diganta B. Das, Loughborough University, England, Professor Dr. Binay Kumar Saikia, CSIR NIST. And we have total of 9 keynote speakers, 6 of them physically present over here, 3 of them are going to present online. Dr. Jitendra Kumar Katiyar from Chitkara University, Dr. TCSN Gupta, Apar Industries, Dr. Anuj Kumar Sharma, AKTU Lucknow, Dr. Sopranali Hazarika, CSR NIST, Professor Mihir Narayan Mohanty, Shiksha Vo Anusandhan, Dr. Muhammad Ali Ahmad, University Technology Mara, UITM Malaysia, Dr. Kaushik Guha, National Institute of Technology, Silchar, Professor K. Viswanatha Sharma, Emeritus Professor of the JNTU, Hyderabad, Dr. Tanujjal Bora, Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand. Well, apart from the chief patron, and all the respected chairperson and co-chairperson, we have additional experts, scholars, as a panelist in the brainstorming session as well. Dr. Ronaj Pegu, Education Minister, Professor Narendra Chaudhary, VC Astu, Dr. Jaydeep Barua, Director Aztec, Dr. Arup Kumar Vishwa, Chairman Pollution Control Board, Assam, Mr. Nikunj Borthakur, Senior Chief General Manager, Corporate Affairs, NRL, Mr. Anirban Bhagavati, Chief General Manager, Oil India, Mr. Vidyananda Barkokati, Advisor, Northeast Association. Well, I think in line with the sir's advice to all of us, in line towards making a trajectory toward, in fact, he has already talked about the ecosystem that is being in place over here, and the requirement for us to jump onto the trajectory of working towards making this world a more sustainable future. The broad areas of topics of the keynote speakers and the plenary speakers are exactly in line with the theme of the conference, which is sustainable futures. I would like to tell you briefly about it. The topics are related to LED lighting and its balanced design, nanotechnology, machine learning approaches for global healthcare, neural network classifications for electrocardiogram signals, AI-based neurorehabilitation, tribology for sustainable development, utilizing carbon resources of northeastern region, materials for energy storage for sustainability, sustainable machining, and we have a total of 51 papers that are to be presented, either physically or online, and we have additionally 50 papers which will be presented through posters in tomorrow's session. So total about 100 papers. But beyond that, I think there are a couple of more papers we have received. We had to reject because of the non-compliance with the requirements of the conference guidelines. But I'm sure that those others will be participating with us in the future conferences. So out of the papers which we have received, broadly, the thematic of the papers which we have received are in line with the sustainable future, applications of machine learning, deep learning, text classification, ensemble learning, blockchain-based techniques, building SMEs, AI conversational agents, study of speech-to-text recognition, attendance management system, crop recommender systems, exploring beyond 5G, optimizing analog circuit design, enhancing health status checkup, GIS-based assessment of environmental sustainability, air quality analysis, a sustainable waste management approach, smart agriculture, energy harvesting for sustainable development, sustainable design and operation of solar power lawn mowers, solar water heater performance, optimizing machine tool, life and machining time, tribological performance with textured surfaces, design and development of advanced damper seals, development and implementation of intelligent plant monitoring system, innovative design and development of hacksaw machine. So I am so happy that these presenters will have a great time, probably by also listening to our experts of the plenary and keynote. And then there is an ample opportunity for all of them to improve upon your papers, presentations, and when we actually look back to you, fall back to you for getting your papers, either for the conference proceeding or even for submission to the journals as regular issues, you will all be able to have a paper which is definitely a better one in terms of whatever you thought before, and it will definitely add great value to all of you. And papers accepted, registered, and presented will be part of the proceedings of the conference, which will be published in the book series of Nova Science Publishers. Authors of the papers presented in the IGT 2024 may consider to submit the extended versions of the manuscripts in regular issues. International Journal of Innovation Science, Impact Factor 2.9, World Journal of Engineering, Impact Factor 0.29, Advances in Materials and Processing Technology, Impact Factor 4.73. So with this, I would like to thank all of you. It is indeed a great honor for me to stand over here in front of you. Kudos to my entire team, and I would like to ensure that all the presenters, participants will have a very eventful and fulfilling conference over these 2 days. With this, thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you one and all.
Thank you, Rao sir. Now, moving forward, we have our esteemed guest of honor. Your presence enriches our event. Sri Ranjan Goswami sir holds the esteemed position of Chief General Manager, Public Relations at Oil India Limited. Goswami sir has nearly 15 years of dedicated service and has held various key roles, including Chief Engineer in Assam and Senior Manager for Coordination in Noida. His significant contribution extend to spearheading an award-winning petroleum conservation campaign, earning accolades such as the Asia Marketing Effectiveness Award. An electrical engineering graduate with MBA and PG DPR, Ranjan sir is a visionary leader who has seemingly integrated risk management into the organizational culture, leaving an indelible mark on the oil and gas sector. His role contributes significantly to Oil India's communication strategies and engagement with various stakeholders. I take the pleasure to invite our guest of honor, Mr. Ranjan Goswami, on the dais to share a few words. Thank you.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university, young yet mature university, Downtown University. I'm very happy to be here today. Distinguished guests, Dr. Bhupendra Goswami, all delegates, students of this university. It's an absolute pleasure actually to be here this morning in Assam Downtown University, which is overseeing Brahmaputra River here. And I must thank my friend and brother, Dr. Sunandan Borua, for actually inviting me here to this occasion today. In fact, amongst all these academicians, scientists, and research scholars, I'm the person perhaps odd man out from industry. And you know that innovation and technology, which is the backbone of any development of any country, if it doesn't really get reflected into industry, it doesn't really make sense. So there's always a big collaboration between these academicians and industry. That's first of all. The conference which is now taken up by the university, it's really laudable because sustainable development is the buzzword, the keyword, not only in India, all over the world. In fact, recently I'm back from this conference called India Energy Week, which is held by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, which has been a conference of a larger magnitude. I mean, they want to actually make it in the international standard. And Honorable Prime Minister was there to inaugurate the entire session. And our Petroleum Minister was there all along for the 4 days. So the theme of the conference was growth, collaboration, and transition. So the transition is again the buzzword in the entire industry now to the green technology. So when it comes to green technology, Oil India Limited plays a big role in the sustainable development. As you all know, Vice Chancellor has already said, in the UN has given 17 goals for the sustainable development. As far as Oil India is concerned, our vision actually talks about sustainable energy security. When you talk about energy security, Oil India plays a big role after ONGC, as you all know, in the public sector unit. So when we go for sustainable energy security, sustainable development comes automatically to our core business. And when we talk about sustainable development, we see that energy efficient technologies are to be introduced in the company. In order to do that, what we need? Innovation and technology. And that's where the role of academicians come in a much larger way. What we do in our company, we have been the pioneer actually in the hydrogen technology. We have a generating station at Guwahati. It's very small in quantity, but we have done it for the first time in the country. And also in the last India Energy Week, the hydrogen bus, the fuel cell bus, which was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister last year. As far as other activities of the company in green technology and the transition is concerned, we have done CBG and bioethanol. We have been doing a lot of work in that field. So I'm sure in the deliberations amongst all of you during this conference for these 2 days, spread over 2 days, a lot of points will be discussed during that time. And I request all the students to take benefit of all these conferences so that you can actually apply it in future in days to come. So I'll thank everyone for inviting me here, and it's a great pleasure for me to be amongst you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Dear all, our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Bhupendranath Goswami, sir, honors us greatly with his presence. Dr. Bhupendranath Goswami, sir, born in 1950, is a distinguished Indian meteorologist and climatologist, renowned for his impactful contributions to the understanding of Indian monsoon dynamics. Hailing from Padmoshi in Assam, Goswami sir completed his BSc honors from Cotton College, Guwahati in 1969, followed by a master's degree in physics from Guwahati University in 1971. He earned his PhD in 1976 from Gujarat University, focusing on nonlinear waves and instabilities in magnetoplasmas under the guidance of Bimla Bhutti at the Physical Research Laboratory. His academic journey led him to the United States, where he conducted postdoctoral studies at the Cambridge MIT Institute and NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. Returning to India, he joined the Center for Atmospheric Studies at IIT Delhi in 1983, and later moved to the Indian Institute of Science in 1985. Over the years, he held various positions, including Director of the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, IITM, from 2006 to 2014. And he concluded his illustrious career as the MOES Pisharti Chair Professor at the Earth and Climate Science Department of the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. His exceptional contributions have earned him fellowships in major Indian academics and recognition, including the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize in 1995. Despite his global academic engagements, he remained committed to atmospheric and oceanic science, leaving an enduring impact on meteorology research. He retired from service in November 2015, leaving behind a legacy of outstanding contributions to atmospheric science in India. We kindly request you, sir, to join us on this dais and share a few inspiring words. Your wisdom will inspire and inspire us all. Thank you so much, sir. All yours.
Good morning to everyone, and Professor Talukdar, distinguished guests, distinguished speakers, scientists and students, and ladies and gentlemen. I am really consider privilege and honor to be here as a part of this international conference on advances in sustainable development technologies. I am a climate scientist and is very concerned about the state of the environment, and therefore I will start with an apology if I sound like a bit of an activist during my speech, because I'm going to ask some. I'll actually start with a question, and the question that needs to be asked, because if we have to have sustainable development, we have to really ask some hard question today. And these conferences, obviously, sustainable development is the talking about sustainable development and what we can do and how we can achieve it is need of the hour. But just talking and having conferences like this is probably is definitely necessary, but not sufficient to solve the problem. So therefore, we have to ask some serious questions, how we can go about it. For example, what I'm going to do today is basically ask the question: is sustainable development is it really possible without climate action? So this is kind of a question that I'm going to read. And this question needs to be asked because we are not asking this question. We are doing development, we are proceeding with development to feed the growing population without considering whether it is really sustainable. And we are talking about a lot of all these sustainable goals that has been set by the United Nations Convention. But we really have not committed to this. What is missing is the commitment to achieve those goals. And so therefore, I think we need to really ask such questions. We also need to ask this question because I think we have a really moral responsibility for the future generation, because we cannot continue to degrade the environment to an irreversible state and make the future generations, like our grandchildren, to face the enormous difficulties and the sufferings that they will have to endure. And we have a moral responsibility for that. Therefore, we need to really ask, are we doing enough to have sustainable development? Are we taking the hard decisions that we need to do? So why I'm going to really actually ask this question? Because all the evidences today, all the indicators are that we are not doing enough. First of all, we need, I think we are already, see, for any sustainable development, the Earth system has to remain in a certain safe and just boundaries. There is called safe and just boundaries of the Earth system. Now, it is, there are a lot of indications that we have crossed these boundaries. In fact, recently, there is a very interesting paper in Nature just a few months ago, where a lot of climate scientists, ecologists, and environmentalists and social scientists got together and evaluated a whole set of Earth system boundary parameters, where we have exceeded them and from safe and just boundaries. So, and the conclusion in that is that the 7 of, and I quote from that study, the 7 of 8 globally quantified safe and just Earth system boundaries, and at least 2 regional safe and just Earth system boundaries in over half the global land areas are already exceeded. What are the safe and Earth system boundaries? These boundaries are like, sometimes when the climate system goes over, these are called tipping points. So when the climate system goes over a certain boundary, then we cannot come back. And then there is really disaster. And that 1.5 degrees above the pre-industrial level of the global mean temperature is one of such boundaries. Now, if this boundary crosses, then it may be difficult to come back, because then we can probably go to a different, very warm climate after that. So, but this boundary we have already exceeded today in this last 2023 was the warmest year in the record. and in the whole record. And probably in the last 3 million years, probably we never had this kind of a temperature. So although we have gone through the glacial, interglacial periods, and now we are in the interglacial period, and this is probably the warmest interglacial that we ever had. And if it reaches that level of 3 million years ago, then we will never be able to come back to a cold period ever. Because all these feedbacks that are required inside the system can happen only if the global mean temperature at a certain level. And that level, until then, up to 3 million years, it happened around 3 million years ago. The Earth was cooling. At that point, I think these glacial, interglacial feedbacks could take place and keep the climate in a stable equilibrium over the last 3 million years. But now we are crossing them, and this is a very dangerous boundary, sort of. In addition to that, of course, there are a lot of parameters like ecosystem parameters, which are also very important, and that also we have exceeded. So this is one important thing. The other important thing is that over the gap in the what is required for a sustainable development, how much emission cut is required, and what we are doing today, the gap between them has been so large, and it has been estimated. Now, the IPCC has documented this very well, but everybody agrees that we know this, but we are not taking the necessary actions, and that is our problem. So the gap is so large that we are expected to, even if we do almost take a very big effort today, even then we may not be able to stop increasing the global mean temperature beyond 2 degrees above the pre-industrial level by the end of the century. And the best estimate today is maybe will be about 2.7 degrees by the end of the century, even if we do a lot of things. But we're not doing that. So therefore, I think it should really scare us, because by that time, I think it will be almost impossible to come back. So that is why the tipping points are already over, and we need to really seriously consider. Just not talk about sustainable development, but do something very serious, and that is why it is important. So, but what are we doing? As far as I see, that we are not doing enough. We all agree that we need to do a lot of things. In Paris Agreement 8 years ago, almost all countries agreed that we need to cut down emission, but we never followed them up. And that is, and not only we did not follow up, we continued to emit so much of carbon dioxide. In the last 7 years itself has been a lot of addition into the atmosphere, and so the greenhouse gases have increased instead of decreasing, and that is, I think, not acceptable in the long term. So I think we have to ask this question, because we can always give a lot of arguments that we need to do developments, and for development we have to use energy. But the question is that can we continue to use fossil energy? Unless, if you cannot produce enough green energy, then you have to stop using certain amount of energy. You cannot continue to demand more energy. So this is I think the dilemma that we have, and we're not taking those hard decisions. So what also we are not doing is that we are not putting enough investment into the innovations in the last long. So if I'm not looking at certain regional problems. I'm thinking about a global problem, and the global problem, what we are doing is not putting enough investment into innovations, because the understanding is that we need to accelerate green innovations, and that requires at least $1 trillion a year to produce that investment in the short term, so that we can produce enough innovations to produce green energies to compensate. Because today we are still only 20% of the total global energy comes from the green energy, and the 80% still comes from this, and we cannot sustain this for any longer. So we need to accelerate this green innovation. But what is happening is that if you look at all the green innovation globally, from 2012, green innovations are decreasing. So that is a very concerning trend, because we are not putting enough investment from the governments as well as private agencies. We are not putting enough investment. We need to do that, and we are not doing it. So that is why I'm asking this question. So, but not only, but it is not that money is not there. So actually, the global economy is pretty good, and there is a lot of money, but we are spending a lot of money in defense, and we are creating this. Suppose if I made a very simple calculation, if I consider the top defense spenders, only 6 countries which are spending maximum amount in defense, and cut down 50% of their defense spending, the amount saved will be like $700 billion a year. Now, if I put that money into innovations, I think we'll solve the climate change problem. So we're not doing it. So your priorities are not correct. So this is where I think we have to think about. But not only we are not doing, many countries are encouraging. So this is hypocrisy and lip service. So many countries are not only not putting enough investment on green innovation, but they are in fact encouraging fossil fuel consumption and sort of in a way indirectly discouraging green innovations. I can give you some examples. For US, for example, US is undercutting fossil fuels by $600 billion a year. That much subsidy they are giving, encouraging green fossil fuel. Instead, we should be putting more tax on fossil fuel and not undercut fossil fuel cost. So that's not happening. If this is not happening, what are you talking about? So I think this is something. Not only that, I have also heard that the green innovations in US, for example, a small startup in US, to put green energy into the grid, they have to invest more on the grid infrastructure. The government is not even giving any subsidy to produce the green. So they have to lay power lines to put that thing, because the power grid is already loaded. The green energy, if you access green energy, you produce, invest a lot in producing the green energy, but putting into the grid also, you have to put more and more investment. That is discouragement. And this is the kind of thing that is going on in the developed countries. So I think this is something that we need to address. Now, I think in addition to that, I think we cannot have sustainable development unless and until we stop these conflicts and wars around the globe. But we are having this Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel-Palestine war is raising, and countries are encouraging it because they are making money in the defense. Defense contractors are making money, and that money somehow helps the countries in some way or the other, but the economy in some sense. So by encouraging directly, we are making a serious problem into the sustainable development. See, look at what these wars are doing. You are spending so much of energy in producing ammunition and the defense equipments. That much energy also came from fossil fuel-based energy only. Okay. Then you go and mow down all the cities and countries and rebuild them again using fossil fuel energy. This is not sustainable. You cannot do that. Now, unless we stop this is sustainable development is simply not possible. That is what I am asking this question. You can individually, you can contribute a little bit here and there. Sustainable development is never going to be possible. So we have to take big decisions. So how are we going to take those big decisions? Countries are not going to take those decisions because there is a very fundamental issue. The issue is that the politicians are not going to, or the policymakers are not going to take those hard decisions, because that will affect their public support. The people will not vote them, because that is why. And then because we need, because and they will not get the support from this from the big industries. So what we need is a very change in the whole global governance and global the developmental model. So root cause of this whole problem of the climate change is associated with population growth and industrial development and GDP growth. So if you look at the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and the population growth, GDP growth are very well correlated. That means the type of development model that we are using is what is causing these. So we need to change the developmental model. So now there is a lot of talk. We need to change this. GDP growth model is the most dangerous thing, because it depends on very big industry. Big industries require very high energy consumption, and that high energy is not coming from your green energy. So we have to reduce energy consumption. We have to cut down the total energy consumption, and you have to change over this model of how we can grow. So this growth, there is a new model called degrowth model. So ecological economists have come out with something called a degrowth model. So there is a lot of debate and discussion going on this, and I think we need to really seriously talk about this, how we can change from going from the GDP growth model to something like the degrowth or the post-growth model. And there is a lot of papers that have been published, and I'll quote one of those which actually mentions that the wealthy countries can actually create prosperity while using less materials, less energy, if they abandon the economic model, economic growth as an objective. Assume that we don't need growth, but still economy can be maintained. And if you change your way of creating jobs, instead of going to big industries, go to smaller and smaller MSMEs and things like that. And there's a lot of model is there in between in this. So there is a lot of thought has gone into, but people are still skeptical. Many of the people are asking questions, but this debate must continue, and we have to change over to a new model of development. And otherwise, I think we are really going to kill ourselves, and the sixth mass extinction is going to be sort of certainty. So what we need in conclusion, I'd just say that we need, as Professor Talukdar was saying, the famous quote of Mahatma Gandhi, that the planet has enough for everyone's needs, but it doesn't have enough for everyone's greed. So I think our greed, see, not just sustainability has been partly, creating wealth has been disproportionate. It was in inequality, because we want a GDP growth model to create wealth, but the wealth has created inequality. So we need to change that model, and therefore, but to do that, we have to really come up with some sort of, sort of revolutionary changes are required, but how it will come. So we have to, public has to be more conscious about it. We have to come up with, scientists and public have to come up with solutions and convince policymakers that we need this change. So therefore, there is a lot of work need to be done, and just talking about green sustainable development is required, but not enough, so not sufficient. So for that, we need to do a lot more work. So with that, I will stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and insights. I'm sure definitely it has inspired a lot of young minds today. So next we have, I'd like to request our Vice Chancellor, sir, to felicitate Dr. Mukulesh Borua, Mukulesh Borua, sir, Member Secretary, Select Commission of Government of Assam, with a selling and a kit. Thank you, sir. Now I request the chairman of the conference, Professor Sunandan Borwa, sir, Director Research and Innovation, to come up on the dais and deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Chief guest for today's opening program, Dr. Vivendranath Goswami, sir, trustees, other dignitaries, guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you to extend my sincere gratitude on behalf of the organizing committee for your presence and participation in the opening program of the International Conference on Advances in Sustainable Development, Innovation and Green Technology. Our deepest appreciation goes to our distinguished chief guest for the opening program, Dr. Vivendranath Goswami, sir. Guest of honor, Mr. Ranjan Goswami, sir, unfortunately he had to leave hurriedly. And Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor N.C. Talukdar, sir, whose inspiring words in the opening session have set the tone for what promises to be a thought-provoking and enriching conference. Special thanks go to our Honorable Chancellor, sir, Vice Chancellor, sir, Dean of Studies, ma'am, and all trustees, without whose support and encouragement, this conference would not have seen the light of the day. We want to thank our collaborating institutions, Guwahati University, Assam Engineering College, and the National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology for joining hands with us to organize this dream conference. Sincere thanks to the management and the administration office of Assam Downtown University for their support. We are truly privileged to have such a diverse and esteemed gathering of keynote speakers and participants who have traveled from various corners of the globe to share their expertise, insights, and experiences. Your presence here today signifies a commitment to the pursuit of knowledge, collaboration, and the exchange of ideas that transcend geographical boundaries. We thank you all from the core of our hearts. I would also like to express gratitude to our sponsors, CSIR, DST Serb, Oil India Limited, Numaligarh Refinery Limited, and Power Grid Corporation of India for their invaluable support. Your commitment to fostering collaboration and innovation has played a crucial role in making this conference a reality. I want to thank the representatives of the print and electronic media who are highlighting our efforts to the outside world. To our dedicated organizing team committee and a team of volunteers, your hard work and meticulous planning has ensured the seamless execution of the opening program. Your dedication to detail and tireless efforts behind the scenes have not gone unnoticed. We are grateful for your unwavering commitment towards excellence. As we embark on this exciting journey over the next 2 days, let us embrace the opportunity to learn from one another, forge new connections, and collectively contribute to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. The success of this conference lies in the collaborative spirit that each one of you bring to the table. Once again, thank you for being a part of this momentous occasion. We look forward to the engaging sessions, insightful discussions,
and meaningful interactions that will undoubtedly characterize the International Conference on Advances in Sustainable Development, Innovation, and Green Technology. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I take this honor to welcome our Executive Director of Downtown Hospital, Mrs. Mayuraki Datta ma'am, and also our resident trustee, Mrs. Guwahati Datta ma'am. Your presence has honored this conference as well. Now, I request our respected crowd, our honored crowd, to please rise on the national anthem of India and please pay respect and tribute to the country as we come to the concluding sessions of our inaugural session.
जनगण जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधितरंगा, बनावे जागे तब शुभाशिष मागे, गाहे तब जय गाथा, जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय जय जय।